Hello, my friend, and welcome back to Around the Pin, the official Golfletes podcast sponsored by Smashletes. My name is Ryan, and I am the creator and owner of the Smashletes brand, and I want to thank you all for tuning in to our 10th episode of Around the Pin. Today, I'm joined once again by my co-hosts, Jesse Kelly, Bryan Doss, Scott Shearer, and Hunter Hollis. We'll be going over a handful of topics in and around the world of golf, including a recap of the Corales Puntacana Open this past weekend, a quick chat about the Smashletes Outdoor page, our favorite things about Tiger Woods' new course, Payne's Valley, building the best hole in golf, and finishing off the show with our picks for the Sanderson Farm Championship this upcoming weekend. The Golfletes crew and I love doing these podcasts, and we do appreciate the ever-growing support each week. Stay tuned to the end of the show to figure out where to submit your questions for an upcoming podcast. So, grab a drink, sit back in your golf carts, and enjoy this week's episode of Around the Pin.
Welcome into today's episode of Around the Pin. We have a ton of great topics for you today. But first, this week's episode is brought to you by Smashletes. Smashletes is your one-stop shop for all the latest and greatest baseball content and is founded by Ryan Tao. We could not be here without Smashletes, so thank you, Tao Gotti. Follow Smashletes on Instagram at Smashletes. And lastly, before we start today's episode, don't forget to follow us on social media. That's at Golfletes on Instagram and TikTok, at Golfletes1 on Twitter for your daily dose of the fairway. In this episode and any other episode of Around the Pin, wherever you fulfill your podcast needs, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, YouTube, and don't forget to leave a rating, a comment, or subscribe. With that, I believe it's our tee time. So first up, Corales Puntacana Resort and Club Championship. Justin Swafford wins at 18 under par and takes home 720 G's.
Golly.
So it's a good weekend. Good weekend for Mr. Swafford. No, he's played some pretty good golf this year so far, especially in 2020 since that season just started, but in 2019 season as well, he played some pretty good golf. It was up and down, but he got his championship this weekend, and as I believe we saw before we started the show, he will be here this coming up weekend in the Sanderson Farm Championship. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I do want to mention before we move on, Mackenzie Hughes finished third this weekend, so congratulations to Bryan and Tao. In the third place finisher?
Yeah, I mean, third place is just second loser. That's the problem.
Not first loser, second loser.
Second loser. I mean, I'm glad that we had a pick get that close, but, like, damn, I wanted a winner.
We've had some pretty...
No one's picked a winner yet?
I guess so, yeah. I guess Hunter's the only one's picked a winner so far. I know we've had some second places, and now we got a third place
Dude,
for
and
sure.
I'm pissed because I had a winner that I've chosen the last 5 times. The one time I don't pick him, he wins. Like,
Exactly. Yeah, this is something I actually been thinking about. We've had a lot of good picks, but I think where we go wrong is we pick these really high names. And the reason that I say we go wrong with that is what makes these great players that we pick all the time so great is their consistency. So what I mean by that is they're in the top 10, top 25 almost every weekend. They, obviously they're not winning every weekend. And what you see is like these young guys, these guys who don't win very often, they'll win because they just kind of pop up one time and they're gone.
Yep.
So like we pick these guys that are super consistent. They don't always win, like Bryson is a great example. Bryson won this past weekend at US Open, or 2 weekends ago at US Open, and Tal, you picked him because he's a great player, he's super consistent, but like he only won twice, so the odds of you picking those 2 weekends are just so slim.
Oh, I know.
I kind of forget that.
It's like literally the one time I didn't pick him, and I was like, you know what, I'll switch it up a little. No, he wins.
The one time,
Maybe you're bad luck.
Maybe I am. Maybe I shouldn't have picked him, and he would have won the last 8.
It's just like Hunter picking Justin Thomas playing WGC FedEx. And, Justin Thomas is like extremely consistent this year, but Hunter just so happened to pick him on the one weekend where he, was the best. So picking golf is hard, man.
Very.
Picking golf is super hard. And I like to use other sports and pick other sports. Like, I like to guess who I think is going to win. I like to predict winners. I think that's something we talk about all the time is, we talk about football and baseball all the time, but golf, in my opinion, is probably the hardest sport to, like, pick who's going to win.
Oh, because it's so inconsistent. You can have
So
somebody have a
inconsistent, man.
good weekend and just come out there and dominate.
And then the next weekend they come out and miss the cut.
Yeah, and they get cut after 2 days. Like, oh.
Or withdraw themselves from the cut, Scott.
Or 6-putt on the green and then
Yeah.
walk off.
Yeah, like boy Kevin Na did when I picked him, and he withdrew from the tournament voluntarily. Didn't even miss the cut. Just quit. How does that even happen? I'm still like, I will never pick Kevin Na ever again because of that. He could win 3 weekends in a row, and I wouldn't pick him.
Yeah, you would.
No, I wouldn't. He ain't my boy no more.
Admit it, you would.
Maybe. Say maybe. So before we move on to the next topic, I do want to thank you guys for coming in this morning, and I really enjoy having you guys here with me. And I'd like to kind of go around the room. It's been a while since we've had all 5 of us on. Jesse, it's definitely nice to see you back. And I know you've missed 2 weeks with some family events going on, so it's glad to have you back, buddy. And
It's good
Bryan,
to be back, fellas. Good to see you guys.
yeah, Bryan, I noticed you got the headgear going on, man. This is probably a better time than not to promote the ATH Outdoors page we got going on. If you guys have any extra time, go follow ATH Outdoors, Smashletes Outdoors. So, Bryan, I believe you and our good buddy Knox, who kind of runs ATH Outdoors, got some hunting time this weekend. How'd that go?
We did, man. Opening day, bow season over here in Arkansas was Saturday. We hunted Saturday evening and Sunday morning. I had a rough start. Saturday, Knox. For those that know Knox, which y'all do very well, in typical Knox fashion, we walk in, we sit down, get set up. 10 minutes later, we get a text. Boys, I'm covered in seed ticks. They're all over me by the hundreds.
Oh, no.
So we had to call things short.
Gotta love
First hunt of the
that.
season, so Knox can go get taken care of, so he doesn't get, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what seed ticks give you, but I'm sure it's something bad.
Like Lyme disease, maybe.
Anyway,
Lord
so we went back
knows.
Sunday morning after me. Didn't have any luck, but we'll get back out there at him.
I thought you were going to say he
What?
fell out of his tree stand or something.
I wish.
was
That would have
that's
been
what
funnier.
Knox did.
That would have been so much funnier.
He almost did twice.
Of course he did.
I tell you this, man, the one and only experience I've ever had with seed ticks was when I was probably in high school, maybe junior high, just a teenager. And back home where I live in Mississippi, we live out in the sticks, man. There's no, we don't have any businesses out there. It's all houses, and every one of them's a mile apart. So we got ticks and all kind of bugs crawling around there, and I had to run in with seed ticks out in our woods that we got out there. And I came back, and it got to the point where, like, I literally just had to take off my socks and my shoes because I managed to get them and catch them before they got up my legs. And I just had to, like, pour alcohol down both my legs and just let it run down. I mean, they were just crawling. Sea ticks are a whole different animal, okay? It's not like
Yeah.
you think a tick is bad. Sea ticks are awful, man, because when you think you got them all, you find 5 more, all right? It's awful.
Yep. In Port Knox, he called Sarah, who's my wife, and Sarah, we got back to the house. Knox rode back to the house 35 minutes in his underwear.
Oh, my God.
I got a picture of that. If we can throw that up, I'll send it to you. And Sarah
They
had
can
him a
need
full
that.
hot bath running with Blue Dawn soap and everything. So
Blue
Oh, man.
Dawn
Dude.
soap.
I've got to see this picture.
We have got to
Text
post this picture.
Text it to me right now. I got to see it.
God, I want
It's
that
good.
picture bad. That needs to be his new caller ID picture for me.
Oh, it will be.
Hunter,
That's kind of what I
I'll
was
send it
thinking
to
too.
Hunter's glad to have you back. This is your second week in a row back on the pod, so it's good to see you again, man. I hope everything with the house is going well. Can you briefly update us on how that's going?
It's going good. We officially closed Friday, so in the house full time, officially back in debt, living the dream.
Nice.
There we go.
About killed myself yesterday reseeding the yard because they put sod squares down for me in the front, but didn't do anything in the back. So I had to spread some seed, put some straw down, and that damn near killed me.
Ooh.
Realized I gotta get back in shape a little bit. But other than that, just everything else. It was all moved in last week, so that was good. But loving it so far. Life's good.
That's nice.
Waiting for the boys
Awesome.
to come up and get some golf trips in. We're only about 5 minutes from our 2 favorite golf courses up this
Oh,
way. So.
yeah.
It'll happen. It'll happen, man. Well, Tal, I saw you had some pretty good success on your first ever YouTube video you uploaded, man. Tell us about it.
I honestly was surprised that it did as well as it did. I posted
nuts,
it
man.
yesterday, and it has right now almost 2,000 views. Don't know how.
What?
I think it was because it was an
Wow.
issue and a topic that people were looking for, and it just so happened to fall into place right at the right time, which most people, because Rocket League did go free to play relatively recently, so people are looking for that information that happened, and it, like, I uploaded right before the event went live, so it was the perfect timing.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear it. If you guys at home aren't following Tal on Twitch, or if you're a Twitcher and you're not following Tal, go follow him at Tal Gotti, TOWGOTTI. Man, that man is a good Rocket League player. I don't know what you guys call it, Tal, but I'm gonna call it a Rocket League player, and you're a good one. So
Thank you.
I know I've been meaning to tell the boys this, but I kind of snuck into Tal's stream last week because I had to text him about something about the podcast, and I knew that he was streaming, and I wasn't gonna get a text back, so I was like, man, I'm gonna go watch him. I'm just gonna go jump in, and of course, like, you got to make like a profile and all that to like be able to like get in the chat. So I made a name. It was ATP Scotty, around the pin Scotty, on Twitch, and I just started like I just started chatting in there. I don't know if you actually realized that it was me at first, because it didn't sound
I knew
like it.
immediately when I read ATP Scotty. I knew 100% who it was.
Yeah. So I had a good time in there. I was just kind of trolling. I threw some shade over on his golf game also. He was kind of raging because he was practicing and he couldn't get this one level, and he started kind of raging a little bit, and I was like, for all of you guys watching Tal right now, this is what he looks like on the putting green when he doesn't make a putt. And I started
I mean, he's not wrong.
Started a little chat war in there. They all started getting on him about his golf game and stuff, and it was
Oh
pretty
my
funny.
God.
Damn.
Everybody was like, yeah, so he sucks, is what you're saying.
So, yeah.
What kind of friend
Yeah.
are you, Scott?
The best kind to have, man. The best kind.
Yeah.
So let's move back into the golf. The Paynes Valley Cup happened this week. It was a really cool event. I just hated that they did it at 3 o'clock on a Tuesday. I feel like that was a really weird time to broadcast something like that. Obviously, Paynes Valley is Tiger's brand new course that he just opened. We talked about this kind of earlier this week, how I think, what is it, Bryan, I think, was the one that said it was like $300 for a tee time.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I think it's like
Yeah, I said that.
250
Yeah,
or something like that.
I mean,
Yeah, that was
yeah, it was
still.
like 259.
Very much money to play Paynes Valley, but probably
Lots of monies.
very worth it. We'll get into it just in a second here about kind of what we liked about the course, but man, it was a really beautiful course, and it was a
it's
really
so
cool
nice.
event. I mean, anytime you get to watch those four guys, Tiger, Justin Thomas, Justin Rose, and Rory all play together and have mics on and be able to hear their conversation, it's a really unique experience. So that was super cool. But so let me pull up kind of what went down. So I'm pretty sure they tied. They had a tiebreaker on the 19th hole, is what they call it. I think it was the closest to the pin is what the tiebreaker was. I mean, it was back and forth. Honestly, I don't hate to say it, but Tiger kind of played some of the best golf he's played in a while. At this thing. Of course, it is his course, but
to be fair, he did design the course.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's still fairly. It ain't like he's been out there for months playing on this thing. It's still really new, But it was, well, I don't know what it is about Tiger and charity events, man. But he plays well.
Yeah.
But he did hook on the first, literally, he was the first one, or no, he was the last one to hit, because I mean it's his course, so they were gonna let him go last. But he absolutely just snap hooked into the trees, and it was like, oh gosh, here we go again. But I was fortunate.
He gathered it up.
He did. I was fortunate enough to be able to sit at home and watch it, and for a little bit at least, before I had to go back to work. And it was fairly interesting. So what I really want to talk about is just the course in itself. Obviously, they, that's pretty much all they talked about, and all the dead air time where walking to their ball. That's what they talked about, was the course and the different amenities and the different designs and all these different aspects of this course. And it's actually fairly unique, and it's just interesting to know how close, Bryan, you're just you're so close to it. It's just really neat to know that it's not like way across the country somewhere that we could just never even imagine to play. Like, honestly, if we really wanted to all go play it, we could go play it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we'd have to shell out the money, but
We'd probably have
let's
to
talk about
wait
our
for another 8 months before we get a chance.
yeah. We could
Yeah, it's not
book
bad.
it for next summer.
Yeah.
What is it from you, Brian? Is it like 2 hours?
It's in Ridgedale,
Man, I
Missouri.
honestly don't know what it is off the top of my head.
It's like 2.5 from me. It's not far at all.
Wow.
That's not bad.
So let's talk about our favorite parts of it. Brian, since you're the closest one, man, I feel like this is your kind of deal here. So tell us what your favorite part of the course that you saw, or maybe favorite parts. You don't have to have one, but what you like so much about the course, seeing it for the first time?
Yeah, the very first thing that sticks out to me about the course is its location geographically. I think there's a lot of good scenic views on the course. So not only are you playing at a really nice course, but you're playing at you got mountains in the background. You got just all that kind of stuff that goes along with where it's at. That's just a cool experience to be out there and play golf like that, where you're not in the middle of a city somewhere where we always play, or surrounded by houses. Stuff like that, just something different. I thought that was cool. I think the first thing that stuck out to me, besides the location, would be I think there's a picture when you pull it up on the website of the first hole, and it's like an aerial shot from like probably above the tee box or something like that onto the fairway. And you can just see all the hills they put in there, the mounds, and there's like a fairway bunker, I think, lining the right side of the fairway, and it just looked like Golf Magazine worthy. It was good looking.
Yeah. That first hole was way downhill. That was the first thing I noticed at the beginning of the broadcast when they basically started off on hole one, was how far downhill they were hitting it. It was kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Dropping
Well, I guess that
bombs.
used to be where they used to mine there, and it was like an old mining subsidence, I think is the word I'm looking for. But that's basically you're dropping off into where they mined down over time. And it's kind of back up in there, and that's where they got a lot of the mountain views or kind of the mountains and hillsides from, I guess.
Hunter, why don't you tell us your favorite part that you liked and what you saw that you liked a lot about the course?
I thought it was really neat, just the layout. I mean, a lot of people don't think of Missouri. They think, flat ground, kind of like over here in Illinois, just farm ground, flat, nothing to see. And there's just awesome views. That area alone, Ozark in itself, is just a really, really cool area. The lake's awesome. I'm a big fan. I was actually looking at it, funny enough. I was like, what would be cool? Go on a bachelor trip over here for me, or I guess Tao, whoever gets there first. And we'll, there's cottages to stay in. I think there's 5 different courses there, but overall, it just seems like a really cool atmosphere. I haven't been to the course personally, but I've been around it at the Ozarks. It's pretty cool.
Jesse, what you got, brother?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing about Hunter. I was like, wow, I wish this would have been opened back in March when we went on my bachelor trip to St. Louis. Not that it was a bad trip, but that would have been a neat experience to get to, go play Tiger's new course. But really watching it made me look into Big Cedar Lodge, the whole golf resort made me look deeper into it. And they've got some really awesome courses, specifically Payne's Valley, what we're talking about. I just really liked how I guess my favorite part of it was the 19th hole. Like, that was really cool to see that they actually had, like, when you think of the 19th hole, you're like, well, you play 18, the 19th hole is the bar, but they actually have a 19th hole, little par 3 area with like an unbelievable backsplash of the, isn't it like a waterfall or something like that? Or just like a waterfall
Waterfall around it.
Yeah, yeah.
They cut out of that limestone
nice
mountain there.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. Nice little par 3. I think it's like 140 yards, so like a wedge or a 9. Nice little part. That was my favorite part, was just the 19th hole. Seeing that and watching that go down was cool for me. I didn't get to watch particularly too much of it, but the snippets and highlights I saw, the 19th hole really fascinated me, because you don't see many courses with legit 19th holes. So I thought that was cool.
Tell what you got.
I am in the same boat as Jesse. I thought the 19th hole was super cool. I mean, you don't see a course where they have a hole in general that is surrounded completely by water. And not just water, like I'm talking like a giant limestone rock fixture with a waterfall. You don't see a lot of courses do that. Like the views on the course in general, beautiful. Like it makes me want to go just to sit on the course, let alone play it, because it's so nice. You look at the pictures on their website and you'll see that there's clouds literally going through the valley that you can see like while you're playing. I think that's so cool. It just adds to how like beautiful the course really is. But the 19th hole, the concept in general of having a 19th hole is super nice. I think that that's very unique, as well as having the visual part of it. Oh, money.
Look here. I think it comes down to this. We got to get out there and play, boys. We got to.
I'm down to do it.
You know, whether that's in the spring, next summer, next fall, whenever, we got to get out there and play it.
You're about to make me literally grind my golf game for the next 3 months just so I don't shoot 170 on this course, because you know it's going to be difficult. There's so much water.
Oh yeah.
Well, like looking at it and stuff, like yeah, the water's a factor, but like
The fairways
the
are
fairways
huge.
were really wide.
They're huge.
They're really wide.
So,
It seems
yeah,
like
so
it's
Jesse, about that,
virtually impossible. It
I
seems
was-
like it's
I
virtually
was doing some
impossible to miss a
research.
fairway.
Yeah, I was doing some research on it, and they said typical fairways are anywhere from 30 to 50 yards wide. Payne's Valley's 80.
Jeez.
So you got
Wow. I mean,
mega
you
room
really
to
got to miss
slice
hit
it
one.
with every ball.
Jesse, speaking of it being virtually impossible to miss the fairway, Tiger himself did it on his first shot. So
Well, if
Yeah,
Tiger
I
can
was
do
gonna
it, that
say,
means
Tiger
I can do it. So
We'll find a way to
Tiger
miss it,
looks
I promise.
Yeah.
it comes down to this.
I'll make it look
okay?
easier than old.
Tiger is born to beat the impossible. Okay, that's what he's
I'd
been doing
honestly
his whole life.
be scared. I just spent $280 to
Look,
go play
Tiger-
golf. I walk out there. When I step into that tee box, I'm gonna be shaking. I'll be
Look here,
terrified.
Tiger-
Don't lose the ball.
it-
Don't lose the ball. Don't lose the ball.
It's a known fact that Tiger's not a big fairway hitter. So we've got that going for us. He doesn't really hit a lot of fairways, but we'll make it look easier than him to miss one. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously, speaking of that, you bring up a good point. If you go back and just look at, go on YouTube and search, Tiger Woods like career highlights, a lot of the shots come out of the bunker and out of the rough because that's when he like really starts to work his magic. He does stuff in those situations that other guys just simply can't do.
Most guys will punch out of a fairway bunker. No, Tiger will go for 2 feet from the hole.
Yeah, seriously, like it's just crazy.
I have one more thing, Scott. I want to add on to mine.
Yeah, go ahead.
The fairways, and this is a real technical and nerdy thing, but I just think it's one of those things that can really make you enjoy a course just that little bit extra. So the fairways are a zoysia grass, and so, like for instance, Somerville has a zoysia tee box, Jesse. You know that par 3
Mhm.
with the water right in front.
They have a couple,
And
6
you
and
can-
7.
Yeah, and you can set the ball up on it without a tee, and it's like the ball's almost on a tee anyway,
Mm-hmm.
because the way the grass grows. Man, I think just playing on a fairway like that,
Oh
the ball
my!
feels like it's on a tee almost every time.
Is it?
I felt like
Is
I
it
was
every
flush.
fairways like that?
Yep.
I believe so.
Dude, I'm shooting
Yeah.
a 72. If we're playing on that,
Isn't Ridgeway's fairways Georgia, Hunter? Aren't Ridgeway Country Club's fairways Georgia? Yeah, those are
Yeah.
always really nice.
I need
too.
to go play
A few
Ridgeway
times I
now.
played it with you. I love the Georgia fairways. Like you said, the Georgia.
Just that
they've only
sponge
they've only got
feeling.
2, but they're really really nice. So I can imagine having a full 80-yard fairway full of it. That'd be crazy.
Damn.
Yes, like that kind of goes into what my favorite parts of the course were. I've been fortunate enough. I say fortunate, just to be able to work on a golf course for an extended period of time, and I think say that I'm fortunate for that, mostly because I got to play for free the entire summer on that course, but also because you actually get like the behind the scenes look of what it takes to upkeep a course. Even the course that I worked at wasn't even to our standard. I'm not going to say to our standard because it's not a bad course, but it's not a course that's going to blow you away. And even for courses like that, it's just so much work and so much goes into it. So I feel fortunate to be able to like have experienced that from the other side. The first thing that I noticed is just how really defined the stripes were, and on all the fairways, and even the rough as well was striped very well. And that's what you're going to see with most courses, especially courses that you see on TV and courses where those guys play. But what you'll see also with that is, they have to set up the bleachers that these people are sitting on, and they have to set up the ropes that these people, that they put up on the edge. And there's different, like there's carts driving all around and mowers driving across different places, and you can see like tire tracks and foot tracks and stuff. And as much work as this course has been going through to get it ready, I don't think there was a single tire track. All the stripes were very defined, bright, bright, dark, bright, dark. It was something that me, formerly working at a golf course, could just appreciate so much, and it looked so awesome. And then probably my other favorite part of it was the clubhouse, just because it was literally just on top of the hill, all by itself, on top of the limestone mountain.
See, that's cool.
All by itself, really,
really
just
cool.
Nothing else around it. It was just awesome. And if we can here in editing, we'll go back and put some visuals up for our listeners on YouTube of what we're talking about. But it was just so beautiful. I mean, we've talked about its beauty already, but I'm talking about just really, really minor details like stripes and like a clubhouse, which most people wouldn't even begin to think about. But talking about the zoysia grass and stuff like that, we have a course around back where I live in Olive Branch called Timber Trust that has zoysia fairways, and I've played there a bunch of times. And needless to say, that is where I hold my personal best. So if that tells you anything about playing zoysia fairways, I mean, it literally just if you can keep it in the fairway, it's literally like hitting a teed up ball. It's game changer, man. And so so it's just really cool. And I think the greens were bent grass, so they're a little bit, they're quick, but I think we've talked about that on this podcast before as well, is that we prefer to play on quick greens just because they give you a little bit of help sometimes. But I mean, there was just so many. We could go on and on about this course and what made it beautiful and whatnot. And I've already talked about the first tee being so far downhill, and it's just like you're hitting off the top of a mountain. It was so cool. But the last thing that I will say is the tee markers, dude. Those things were so sick. I don't know if you guys got to see those, but they were for what they call them the tiger tees, because they're all the way in the back, and they were like these huge wooden. They were like cylinders that were cut in half. It had the big TW on it and stuff like that.
That's cool.
They were just awesome, dude. And like they were like I said, they were wooden. They were like painted over and like nice and glossy, and like the TW on the top was black, and it just stood out. It was just so sleek looking. That's another detail that I just love, because most of the courses, especially that we play, just have like the generic
circle,
black. Yeah, like the circle. It's like black, yellow, red, blue, white. It's just like, this is so boring. But like you ever go to a place that has really nice tee markers, and it just makes you feel like you're playing somewhere.
Like they put
really
effort into this.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Man, it was awesome.
I think it'd be sweet. It'd be sweet just to go out there, say at the lodge, and play the other 5 courses and just see that one. I mean, I would be like upset that I didn't get to play it, but even just to go out there and play a couple of other ones that look just as nice. They're just a little bit older, and they're not a Tiger Woods course, but I think it'd be cool just to see it and maybe play some of the others for
what is the difference?
Quarter of the price.
Yeah, so what is the difference in price? Does anybody know between that course and the other ones there?
I just saw a tweet that showed what the cost to play Payne's Valley was, but if you look online, there's all kinds of like packages to stay 2 nights and then play. You get 3 rounds of golf on these 5 courses, and you get to choose which 3 you play.
That's cool.
And it's probably like Pinehurst, where if you play number 2, they add on more because it's more of a, it's a more
iconic,
well-known course.
Yeah.
Same kind of yeah, exactly. Iconic, right word. Yeah, but they didn't show package pricing. You just have to look and see what it costs. And
cool.
Probably just pony up and go for it.
I'm about to say, let's just do it. We got to get it at some point. Let's just
do it, dude.
Cough it up and go.
We'll just say it right now. Everybody just start a savings fund for Big Cedar Lodge, and we'll go from there next summer.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
work with
That's
what
all
we're
I do.
doing.
Dude, that's all I do is save money, so I'm down.
There you go.
That's it.
There we go. So let's move in to kind of like a game, I guess, but this is going to be really fun for us. This is something we've wanted to do for a while, and talking about Tiger's new course is just a perfect little gateway for this. So we're going to do the Golfletes Build a Hole. It's kind of like Build-A-Bear. We're gonna build a hole basically. So we're gonna go. I'm gonna pull up the. I gotta knock the dust off the number generator. Number generator has collected some dust for a while. We haven't used it in a long time, so I'm gonna pull that bad boy out, and we're gonna go 1 through 5, and basically we're gonna make one hole, and we are gonna go from the beginning to the end, every single detail. I will offer up like the preface of like what we're about to create, and then whoever's turn it is will basically decide how it looks, what it's gonna be, yada yada, and we'll basically just go from beginning to end. And to make it fair, that's why we're using the number generator. So let's go. Instead of doing like what I usually do, where like Bryan gets the first number and so on, because that's how it looks on my screen. Let's associate some numbers with some people, and that's how we'll do it. So
Pick number 3, my lord.
let's go. So all right, Tal gets number 3. Jesse, since his handle is JKels4, he'll get number 4.
Nice.
Since Bryan always gets number 1, we'll give Hunter number 1.
Nice.
Bryan will
All
take.
right.
I don't take number 2 because he's a Shafid, if you know what I'm saying. And I'll take I'll take number I'll take number 5.
Now we're talking.
He's calling you a shithead if you didn't realize that.
No, I didn't.
I'll take what was left? Number
Slipped right. That one slipped right past him. Number 5, I think.
Five,
is still
yeah.
open.
So Hunter's got number one.
Yes.
Hunter's got number 1. Bryan's got number 2. Tal's got number 3. Jesse's got number 4. I got number 5. So we'll pull out the number generator. Drum roll, please. Number 1 is going first, ironically enough.
All right.
So Hunter's going first.
First time ever going first. I always go last.
Somebody, make sure you guys remember this. So Hunter's going first. Who's number 4? Jesse. So Jesse's going second. All right. Actually, I'll tell you what. Hunter, write this down.
All right.
You're going first. Jesse's going second.
Yep.
Got a 3. So Tal's going third. 2. So Bryan's going fourth, and I'll go last.
Look who's the shahid now. Scott.
Shafid.
Listen, you might get a crappy
Shut up,
detail.
you
You might get a crappy detail to pick on this course, so you better keep it quiet.
Listen here, Scott. You're not going to get to pick anything
It's
'cause you're going to go
Christina.
last.
So Hunter, you're first, correct?
I am.
All right. So we all know we gotta pick what par it is. That's always what comes first. So Hunter, you get the honors of picking what par you are playing on this particular hole.
I think
3, 4, or 5.
I kind of want to go 3 because I feel like you can get really creative with it, but everybody wants to get the boomstick out, so we got to go par 5.
Thank you. Oh, thank God. Thank God.
We're going par 5, so you get the boomstick out. You might be able to get it out twice. You never know. We'll see who makes it. How long they make it. Driver into driver off the deck.
If you're designing a hole, you have to either go 3 or 5. You can't go 4. You got to go 3 or 5. So I wanted 3, but 5 is a respectable choice.
I'd like you to also write these
score.
details down if you would.
I want a 295-yard par 3.
So,
God.
Hunter.
I thought you were going to say par 5.
So Hunter, you decided it was going to be par 5. Who is second on the list?
Jesse is.
Jesse.
I'm second.
Jesse, I'm going to task you with what comes next after the par, and that is the yardage. How far is this hole going to be?
Ooh. Oh, baby.
So you have the decision in your hands to make this an eagleable par 5, or maybe an easy birdie par 5, or maybe a par 5 where you just take your double par and head to the next hole. This is all in your hands. You have this power at this moment. Choose wisely. Maybe you make
I'm trying to do some math in my head.
Maybe you do a yardage that benefits you and no one else, or who knows.
Thanks, Bryan.
Or maybe you just want to.
I'm thinking this par 5 is going to be It's going to be
6 inches.
It's going to be
669 feet long.
It's gonna be 525 yards.
Okay.
Okay.
525.
25's the number.
This isn't a monster by any means, but it's a par five.
That's far.
Just sitting there in his head going, I can hit driver and then my 3 driving iron, and then if I hit a nice pitching wedge in, I could putt for birdie.
That's exactly what I was thinking of my clubs in my personal bag when I was designing the yardage.
And hey, but look, it may be sort of kind of
like,
short,
well,
but a lot of room for error
if
on this hole.
It's like, well, if I lean into my driver and hit it about this far, I can hit this club that I trust pretty good and reach the green. That's what I was really doing.
There you go. All right, so we got a par 5 that's 525 yards. Is Tal's third, correct?
Yes.
All right, Tal.
Yep.
So since we can do different types of grasses and you got different types of surfaces, I'm going to let you pick the type of grass that goes in the tee box.
Do you think I know grass types?
I was going to say, that was a Bryan question.
The green grass.
Yeah.
I don't.
The grass.
Okay, here we go.
That is great.
All
change
grass
that.
is
Let me
We're
change
going
that.
Boise
Okay,
State
so
blue.
You know what? I want a blue course.
Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna completely cut that crap out. Okay, but Tal, you're going third, so I'm gonna give you the task of picking the shape of the tee box because we got to establish the tee box.
Oh, the
Tell
tee
you what,
box.
actually, I'm gonna give you
The
the entire tee box. So you got to tell us the shape and you got to describe the tee markers to us.
Oh, do I?
Oh.
So for the tee box, what I want, this is gonna be fun. I want it to be in the shape of an octagon. That's what I want. The actual
Okay.
tee box, I want it elevated in the shape, like it's an actual plateau, where it's in the shape of a octagon. Now, I want this octagon to be surrounded by a moat of sand. The reason for that is for when you have dipsticks like us that swing out of our shoes and top the ball, it goes straight into the sand. You don't get any relief. It just goes plunk. And you have to take a second shot from there.
You should make it water instead. Then it really hurts.
No, because now you at least
my
have a
God.
chance in the sand. You're just mad. In the water, it's like, oh, I
We're
get to
not
re-tee.
big enough to keep buying new
For-
golf balls.
Yes, that too.
Before you move on,
That's a good
Tal,
point.
before you move on, I thought you were going to say that you wanted it to be an octagon. That way, for guys like us, if we ever got some beef, we can just throw down right there on the tee box in the octagon.
That too. It's going to have a cage that surrounds it. No.
It's going to have you got to get over the cage.
It's a cage that rises up out of the ground.
You have to climb the cage.
So, but it's gonna
56
be
degrees.
4 separate tee boxes, of course. Each octagon's with a moat of sand around it.
What are your tee colors? What are your colors?
So the tee colors,
start from the back, go to the front.
back to front. So let's go with purple for the tips.
Ooh, okay.
Let's go with purple.
Are they-
From the tee, the next one where the men's tees where we would play, I want it to be aquamarine. So it's a Baja Blast color. Then I want the women's tees to be pink, and the senior tees to be white, so it matches their hair.
Nice. You got to stay consistent with the seniors, man. They can't keep up with a whole lot. If you start
Yes.
changing tee colors on them, they're going to they might just fall over.
Correct.
Man, it's
Got to gather them. Got to gather them back. All right, so we got the shape.
Look,
color.
Now, one question about this tee box. One question. If you so happen to get into an MMA fight on the tee box and you win, is that an automatic eagle?
No.
Okay.
No, it is not.
I wouldn't win many of those myself. I just had to ask.
Just had to ask.
But for
All right.
the actual markers for the tee box, I want it to be the back tees on the tips. I want it to kind of look like a trophy, right? And at the top, it is a circle with the Golfletes logo on it. It might be purple,
Nice.
but I want
Swag.
that on there.
It's all right. Swag. All right. So, but they got to. I mean, you they got to kind of be uniform now.
Yes.
So whatever's on the back's got to go through the front.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, I guess this is our course, so I guess it can be whatever we want.
Because
Not
it
on
is.
his-
It's
not
the
on his
tips.
tee box. It doesn't.
Not on
Because
his
it's
tee
the
box.
tips. This is the
That's true.
guys that
True
are gonna
different.
bomb it. These are the guys that mean the business. So they're going there. Everybody else gets something different. So going through the rest of them, I say still kind of a nice design, but let's go with Oh, that is kind of tough. Actually, now that I think about it. Let's make it kind of like a cube, but it isn't like a cube just put on the ground. I want it to have like different prongs coming out from the bottom of it. So just kind of add some
Okay.
character to it.
So this thing's flamboyant, man.
Yes.
This
How
thing,
the
like,
fuck am I supposed to
it's-
write that down? Cube with prongs.
I want you to think about the from the Incredibles. That thing that comes out into the city and just starts destroying everything. It's just a ball with legs, but it's a cube on top.
Golly, that's not a cube.
I said a cube instead,
That's a sphere.
and I said it's a cube instead.
Use your imagination, Brian. Let's go, Brian. Use your imagination.
It's a sphere.
All right. So, is that all you got for the tee box?
Yes.
But we still got two
Okay.
more
All
tees
you
to go.
got. Golly.
That took up half my
You got
notes page.
That's okay. Who's fourth? Who's fourth?
Brian is.
Brian. Okay. So we got the par, the yardage, the tee boxes, and I'm gonna give you a pretty tough task here.
Okay.
Need the fairway. Walk us through the fairway. Any detail that you
This is the one I
desire.
really wanted. This one sucks. I wanted it so bad.
We got a lot more. Don't worry.
The fairway. It's going to be a dog leg left.
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
Not a 90 degree, just the old
Shout out my
classic
lefties out there.
jib hook. All right.
Question.
On
Question.
answer.
Is it drivable from the tee box? Like, is it
Can
that
you cut
kind
the
of dog
corners,
leg?
what he's
Yeah.
asking.
No.
No. Okay.
Oh,
Unless you can
There
fly
isn't- there-
332.5 yards.
32.5.
Sounds
that's a
like
pretty
Scott's
good
got
little
it down.
carry.
so we got a dog
Dog
leg
leg
left. Keep going. And make
On
sure.
the left
Okay.
side.
So for the sake of moving forward, make sure that you stay within the fairway because we're gonna keep going with what's outside of the fairway.
Okay.
So-
okay. So fairway's gonna be dog leg left. It's gonna be uphill the entire way.
Ooh.
We're going
Right.
elevated down to the fairway, and then the fairway goes back up.
Wow.
Goes back up.
Sounds like
Oh.
an awful hole. But go ahead.
Okay. And once you reach the dog leg where it starts to bend, it's gonna be back downhill.
Oh
Push
God.
So
we're
where it
gonna
Oh my gosh.
so where it turns is like a high point basically.
So
Yeah,
kind
where
of
it turns to the high
Somerville
point.
We're going.
hole is this?
And then so you're gonna have the fairway that approaches the green. There's gonna be a horseshoe bunker that encompasses all in front of the green.
Okay.
There's
I
your
like
fairway.
that. I like that.
So what kind of talk us through the fairway pattern? Kind of since you do know about grass, give us our grass type, give us our strike pattern. What we got?
Because we're just talking about it, how much everybody likes it. We might as well go with the good old classic Zoysia fairways.
Okay.
And then we're gonna cut it. We're gonna cut it in I don't know. I feel like if you cut one hole that way, you got to cut them all that way. So that would be very
Yeah.
not economical. But
This one hole
Just for the
costs
hell of it.
way more than the
we're
rest
gonna
of the
cut it in a
holes.
circular motion.
Oh.
Circular.
Yes. So it's gonna look
Boy.
just like figure eights going all the way up that moat.
Oh.
Almost.
Oh man.
Wow.
I hope the grounds crew's out there at 4 a.m. every morning getting that done.
They better be.
Or else they're gonna be there for a
You're
while.
getting paid.
They better be there
So-
at 4 p.m. to get that done by tee times at 7.
Yeah. So is that your fairway for us?
That's our fairway.
All right. So my turn. Instead of moving forward, I'm going to move just outside, and I'm going to take us through our hazards. Okay. So if we got our dog leg to the left and we got our elevation, okay, everything to the left is going to be trees, right? Because that's why. So Brian was saying you can't cut the corner. I'm saying you can't cut the corner because it's space, a lot of space in between them because they're very thin with no branches except for the top. But if you get down there, it's going to be really tough to get out of them. So we got a lot of pine trees on the left, okay, and then we're going to have one fairway bunker on the right before you reach the dog leg. So if you slice it off the tee box, that's your one saving grace that might catch up in the bunker. Then we're going to have a bunker on the right side of the fairway after the dog leg. So this basically is just like a slicer's hill, pretty much. So you can't go right on this hole at all. Okay. So if you go right off the tee box,
Right-handed slicer.
right-handed slicer's hill. Okay. So we got two fairway bunkers. You've already described the horseshoe bunker that's at the front of the green. I mean, the front of or
Yes.
where the fairway meets the green, and then we got trees on the left. Entire right side is going to be trees as well, but it's going to be at a lower elevation, so you can see really far out. You can see almost as far as the eye can see.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
That's cool.
So very,
I like that.
this is going to be a very scenic hole. Okay.
Ooh, this would be a dope hole.
And then I'm gonna be nice. I'll limit the hazards that way. We got two fairway bunkers, both on the right side. We got one in front of the dog leg and one after the dog leg. Trees very close on the left, not a whole lot of room. And then trees fairly far on the right. Do a very
Question.
go ahead.
The trees on the right,
Mhm.
are those OB?
Those are going to be OB. The ones on the left are not. The ones on
Okay.
the left are going to be very, very close to the fairway. Just the fairway is going to hug around these trees, but the trees on the right, you're going to have a good bit of room here. So,
How,
I guess
I got one question myself, fellas. How in the hell are we supposed to play this hole? If I would have known we were going to make this an impossible hole, I would have said 625 yards.
it's not
But
impossible.
now it can't. So now you're telling me off the tee box, you got to win an MMA fight, then you got to hit
Just
a
depends on the
perfect draw
situation.
down the left side. So you can't even take it up the right side. Where are you supposed to hit this ball? Right down the middle of the fairway,
You got to be
and
in
then
the
you're supposed to
fairway.
hit a
Yes.
big high
Gotta-
draw. You got to hit a big high draw. My
Listen,
goodness, fellas,
listen. It's
I
not
don't know
as
about
hard.
all this.
Listen,
I don't know
okay,
about it.
So,
It's
Who,
scaring me a little bit. To be honest.
so I went last. So we're going to circle back around to the front. So Hunter, we're going to go outside of the fairways, outside of my hazards. Okay, take us through the rough along the fairways, and just to the fairway. So just the rough outside the fairways and around the tee box, whatnot. But stop at the green, if you will.
So I think we're gonna go double cut rough, so kind of stair step into taller stuff. We're not quite gonna have like U.S. Open style deep rough, but it's gonna be
Foot
deep
and a
enough
half
that if you
deep.
get over there in the second cut, it's gonna be a challenge.
Okay.
So I'm kind of thinking, couple inch deep rough on the second cut. First cut, pretty manageable, but still not quite the nice fluffed up fairway. Probably Bermuda, if I had to guess, maybe.
Nice.
That's
Yes.
kind of
I
my
like
thought.
that.
Couldn't hit.
You gonna have narrow or thick stripes? Because it's definitely with Bermuda. That's gonna be Bermuda that at that length that I'm visualizing. You'll definitely be able to see stripes. So what are we thinking
Yeah.
here?
I'm thinking some pretty thick stripes. I'm thinking that
Okay.
might be pretty cool.
All right, and then so tell me, does the rough extend into the trees on the left, or is it like since they're pine trees, it's going to be covered in pine needles pretty much?
I think you're pretty much going to get pine needles once you get into the trees. There's not going to be a whole bunch of rough on the left. I think it's going to be more of fairway, a little bit of rough, and then trees. But I think on the right side is where you can really get into some tough stuff. If you, for some reason, come up short of that fairway bunker before the dog leg or past the fairway bunker afterwards, it's going to be pretty tough to get up on the green from there.
Okay, I like it. So it's challenging, but it's not impossible. That's what I like about
Correct.
this. We're moving at a good pace here. Okay, who's second?
I am.
Jesse.
Jesse. Okay, so Jesse, take us through probably the prized possession of this whole thing. Take us through the green here. Tell us what kind of green you're going to have, big or small, what shape, slope. Take us through just those aspects.
I swear to God, if you give us a Somerville Country Club dime, I'm going to beat your ass. That's all
All
I'm
right, so
saying.
here's my question. For me to be able to lay out the green, have we said already how far these fairway bunkers are and how far the dog leg is, how far it is out? Because I mean, if we're gonna make it, a choice of whether to lay up off the tee or pound driver off the tee and stuff, I wanna match the level of difficulty of the green. I want to give us a fighting chance if it's just gonna be really hard.
So Hunter, how about you? Just since you were the last one to go and you didn't get to describe it a ton, you go ahead and walk us through that.
I think
I will give you the
dog
liberty
leg.
of picking my bunkers that I placed about the distances that it'd
Okay.
be.
So we'll start here and we'll kind of work our way. So the dog leg, so if you think about where it starts to curve, the middle point of the curve where once you break that, you'll be able to see down the hill towards the green. I'm going to say that's probably going to be 265 to that.
Okay.
So if you're 265 or longer, you have a shot at the green.
Okay.
I
like
probably throw. I
So-
would throw the fairway bunker about 275 or so. So that way, those guys, because that's more of an average drive.
Mhm.
I'm trying not to make it impossible so we can actually get up there and get a second shot at the green.
What'd you
but,
say? That it was
you know.
like to the dog leg, like 265?
Like 265. If you're 265 or further, you're
Okay.
in play to get on the green
Yeah.
from
So
there.
that's
but it's
like
long.
260. Yeah, to the green. Okay, cool.
Right. So then
What you're saying? So you're saying if you take the risk of going really long ball on this dog leg and kind of cut the
Mhm.
corner, you may land in this bunker.
if you try to go long, yeah, you're going to be, because I'm thinking bunkers to 280, 290, probably at the end of the fairway there. Basically, like you said, if you go too long, maybe kind of in the right-hand corners. If you go
I see
long
what you're saying.
or
Okay.
shank it long,
Okay.
you're going to be. So, yeah, if
I
you
like
think
that.
about, I'll just
like
draw
that.
it here.
All right, my green.
So here's your
Here's
your dog leg, inside, outside. There's your bunker.
Yeah, okay. I like that a lot.
Fair enough.
for the green.
Go ahead, Jesse.
I want. Let's see here. All right,
Is it going to be big or small?
a fist. I've got a circle. It's gonna be a big green. We're gonna have a lot of different pin placements.
I like it.
It's not a huge green, but a big size green. It's going to have several pin placements. But if you make a circle like this with your index finger and your thumb, and you put these fingers together and you lay it down flat, I want it to be a circle in the front where a front pin location can be. And it kind of goes up and can go around. And Am I talking about just the green, or can I describe the features green side as well?
Stay away from green side. You're talking about. I'm going to give you just green only.
Okay, all right, just the green. So I want my green. I want there to be a front pin location, and it's big enough to where it's flat. You hit a good shot up on there on that front pin, you'll have a chance to make birdie. But I want it to be like this, where it goes up and then kind of wraps around. To the right.
Okay. I like it. Is it going to be fast or slow?
We like fast greens, so we'll be, it's not going to roll like a 14 on the stent, but like I don't know, like what I mean, 9, 10, 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
11.
All right. I respect that.
11 sounds good to me.
Who's next? We got going third.
That would be me.
Tao.
Tao.
Tao, I want you to describe around the green. So include hazards, bunkers, the grass that's around the green, and go ahead and describe that for us.
So we have a giant horseshoe bunker at the front, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like right along the front. How far around does that horseshoe go, Brian?
Well, Jesse said he wanted it to bend right. You could cut it off right there at the bend. You could cut it off before.
Okay.
Kind of whatever you want, I guess.
So I say
Encapsulates that.
I think this would be hilarious. So you have your horseshoe bunker, right? Going around. I'm gonna say it cuts off right there at not dog leg, but like where it bends, right? The whole backside I want to say it drops 20 feet. It's just a 20-foot hole.
Oh, jeez.
Just a giant hole that falls off the back of the green. So do not be long. Because you're
Going
going...
number two,
Of course.
like number 2 at
So
Somerville.
don't be
then.
short. Don't be short. Long.
I want it to literally look like a meteor just smashed into the backside of the green.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I want.
Okay.
So,
Are
so
there
I'd
any
almost
other
rather play out of the sand.
are there any other bunkers?
So, let's say, you know what? I want to do this. Can I put a bunker in the middle of the green?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, yeah, absolutely.
It's our hole.
I
man.
think
You do whatever
I
you
want to say that because if he said the green was going to be relatively big, I say we put a little bit of a bunker right in the middle of it.
You're
That
talking
makes
that
like
where
a
your
sense.
6 foot by
asteroid
6
hit the-
foot?
Yeah, like a 6-foot around bunker.
That's where his asteroid that took the 20 foot off the back of the green bounced up and landed in the middle of the green. And
Yes.
now it's a-
It's got
So
that,
just a
and then
pot
just
bunker then.
yeah,
middle
just a
of the
pop
green.
bunker with a little bit of fringe around it, but then the rest of the green is green.
My God.
All right, there you go.
If you
So are
birdied
we gonna
this
have
hole-
like fairway length grass around the green? We're gonna have fairway length grass, or is it gonna be like straight rough, or what are we doing here?
So I want to do it kind of like how I don't even know if you're gonna even have grass. It's just gonna be sand and then drop off.
That's true.
rock?
You just say
The
that we're not
green
gonna
just
have any
feeds
grass.
into the
if we
bunker.
want.
I'm getting wrinkles and gray hair just thinking about this.
Oh,
We haven't even thrown out
Uh,
water either.
let's say that so around the bunker in the middle of the green, right? Let's say that the fringe around that is 3 inches tall.
Oh, okay, that's tall. Jeez.
But you'll
Okay,
know
this-
where your
this-
ball
Maybe
is.
I'll
It's,
fly the
God.
fringes
It's
in
gonna
there
be
and
in
it'll
there.
Stop my ball on the green.
Oh my goodness.
Jesse, speaking of water, maybe we should make that bunker in the middle of the
Hey!
green just a pond, just for fuck's sake. So I
Just a
wouldn't
pond,
we?
just a little, just a little,
Just a 6x6
your-
pond in the middle.
like your ice fishing in the middle of the green.
There's just a bunch of koi fish
Crazy.
swimming around. It's 6 inches,
So,
or 6
all
feet
right.
wide, but it's
Koi
10
fish.
feet deep.
My God.
So we had Tal,
3 inches
just
tall,
who's number 4?
Brian.
Me.
Brian's next.
That's number 4. So Brian, I'm going to give you. I think this is a pretty cool task. I'm going to give you what are. All right, you got our pin. All right, take us through our pin and our flag. What does that look like? You get all the way down to the color and design.
We're gonna have Golfletes across the front on one side, and then the other side, depending on which way the wind's blowing, the other side is gonna be like around the pin logo, which is just like a little elevated green with a pin coming out of it,
Yeah.
and then it'll just say Golfletes.
All right. Well,
So I have like a big Golfletes logo on one side, and then like the pin with small Golfletes underneath it on the other side. Just your stereotypical colors. For that, we're gonna have a solid white flag for a middle pin location. We're gonna keep the Taos theme going. On a back pin location, we're gonna do purple,
okay.
and on a front pin location, we're gonna do the Baja color.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That's beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, and then what about the pole of the pin? What about the pin itself?
It's gonna be striped, and we're gonna do black and white striped.
I like that. That's nice.
I like that a lot.
A little Somerville Country Club action there. I like it.
There you go. Yeah. So I will. I'm last in this one, and then I'll give Hunter the cap. I want to describe the actual signage at each tee. So we're gonna we're gonna go like to the very outer details of this thing and cap this thing off. So with every single hole, since we're only describing one hole, we're gonna act like this is just the hole all by itself. They're gonna have the big sign right off the tee box. It's gonna have on the left. It's gonna have a picture, like a drawing of the hole, like you would have at your typical golf course, and very good detail. We're gonna hire a very good artist to paint this for us. And it's gonna have our yardages, our colors, and our yardages. Okay. The bottom, we're gonna have the hole sponsor, which is gonna be Smashletes. So we're also gonna promote Smashletes on top of Golfletes. Then so you got the left is the drawing. Underneath it is this sponsored by Smashletes, and the right is just going to be a big old cliche family photo of all of us. It's going to be all of us lined up, kind of like the one that we took, like the one we took at Fair Oaks that day, Jesse's bachelor trip. It's going to be that's going to be our sign for when you approach. And then I'm going to let Hunter cap this off. Let's just say if this did happen to be one hole, a part of 18 on a course one day, it's going to be the name.
Mm-hmm. What's going to be the name?
Yeah,
oh
I'm
boy,
going to give you the naming rights to this thing.
Wow.
I don't like this.
It's a big job.
Pressure.
I mean, well, I'm trying to think of what are some of the elements. So we got pine trees, we got
A lot of elevation and
a lot of elevation,
slopage.
slopage.
Got some tropical colors.
Are you naming just the hole or the course?
I got it. Instead of TPC,
I think just
it's
the
going to
whole
be
town.
ATP
Yes.
Pine Ridge. ATP Pine Ridge. Pine trees, ridges everywhere, elevation. ATP Pine Ridge. There you have
I like
it.
that a lot.
I like that.
Really good. Really solid.
Pine Ridge, baby.
Solid.
What a great hole. What a great hole.
That way, we got to keep around
That's
the
a
pin in there.
hellacious
I mean, hell, that's a hellacious hole. Tao,
Yeah.
you better get on Photoshop now and start making that up so we can post it.
Oh
God.
gosh, yeah.
Tao, that's
Sounds
gonna
like
take-
so.
That's gonna be one great thumbnail. Whew.
So for time constraints, let's move into this coming up weekend. We got the Sanderson Farms Championship. Actually, interesting enough, in Jackson, Mississippi. So shout out to Mississippi first off, best state in America. But
That's debatable.
Bryan and Hunter, I figured you guys would be interested in this one because it's Sanderson Farms, pretty big farm company in the farm game. So I figured you guys would be interested in this one, and
Yeah.
so let's make our picks. I'm just going to start us off because I feel like it. I'm going to go with Scotty Scheffler. Now,
Ooh.
Scotty Scheffler is a great pick, I believe, because he was Rookie of the Year. Here's the thing that does worry me about Scotty. Great name, by the way. Scotty had to miss the U.S. Open because of COVID. And so I'm concerned with not necessarily his health, but just his endurance. Because if you know anything about COVID, the thing about COVID is even if you're asymptomatic, when you're quarantining for those 14 days, you're not allowed to like exercise or anything because since it is a respiratory illness, if you like push yourself too much, you can really hurt yourself in the lung and heart area. So I'm worried that he may not have the endurance or may not be able to perform at the level that he is used to. But I do know that he does have the ability to play very well because he has played well this year. So he's made 18 cuts in 23 events last year. He made the cut in this was the Tour Championship. He finished 5th in the Tour Championship not too long ago. So I think he's going to play well. So that's my guy.
I like
Yeah.
that. Nice.
Rookie of the Year.
What else we got?
I am gonna go with somebody that I wanted to pick one weekend and I didn't, and they ended up finishing 3rd that weekend, where the guy I chose finished tied for like 44th. So I'm gonna go with Doc Redman.
Doc Redman. What a name.
I know.
That's a good name.
What's up, Doc? What's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc?
That's a good pick. When did he finish? When did he finish 3rd? How long ago was that?
What was it, like 2-3 weekends ago? I forget the
Okay,
actual
so he's-
tournament because it was the weekend I chose Jim Furyk.
Isn't it like a Safeway Open or
Oh,
something?
yeah. No, not Safeway. Maybe what? No, because Safeway he chose McKenzie.
That's right.
Okay, well, yeah, that's a good pick though. I don't mind that. Who else we got?
I like Duffner just because he's a good old country boy. I don't really have any good reasoning behind it. Just he seems like a good guy that'd be fun to play with.
I
It's
like
true.
that.
This is another one of those weekends where the names aren't huge, but we do have some. We have better names this weekend than we have the last 2 weekends. So I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse or Brian, who do you guys got?
I'll go. I'm going to go with, and I'm pretty sure I've picked him before. And not from any golf standpoint. I'm just going to go with, just because we share a name, Wesley Bryan.
Here we go. Good old boy. Good old boy
He's a
Wesley
good old
Bryan.
boy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, who do you got?
Speaking of good old boys, I'm going to go with a good old boy from Tennessee. I'm going to go with Scott Stallings this week.
Have you? Who's
Okay.
picked
Never
him
heard of
before? Who's picked him before?
I've talked about him before. I've introduced him. but
I
remember
picked Scotty
picking him
Scheffler as my
pick.
up and comer,
Hmm.
but that it
I've
wasn't
talked about
Scott
Scott
Stallings.
Stallings on here before, but it wasn't my pick.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was between Scott Stallings and somebody else. I forgot who it was, but I didn't pick him.
Oh, I
I'm
remember.
taking
Okay.
him this week.
Yeah, I remember now.
Then Hunter's got Pat Perez, so good pick, Hunter.
I picked Duffner.
I'm just messing with you.
I do like Pat though. He got rid of the mullet and the mustache, or that fucking goatee that went down to here. God damn, that guy was just.
I got
I
you.
almost threw out my PXGs after that.
Oh man. But so that's our picks, and with that, that's going to be our episode. We really appreciate all the listeners. As always, you guys are friends to us, just like we're friends to each other. So we appreciate you guys coming in and listening to this week's episode. Don't forget, follow Smashletes on Instagram, and we could be here without Smashletes. So we really appreciate Tal. Really appreciate you starting Smashletes however many years ago it was, and I bet you didn't imagine that it would lead to this.
Never.
But it did, so we appreciate that. So go follow Smashletes if you're into the outdoors. Different seasons are starting to come up, and talked about it earlier. Go follow ATH Outdoors. It's our good buddy Andrew Knox over there running that thing, and it's a branch of Smashletes. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Golfletes and at Golfletes1 on Twitter for your daily dose of the fairway. You can find this episode and any other episode of Around the Pin wherever you fulfill your podcast needs. If it's Apple, Spotify, YouTube, find us there. Don't forget to leave us a rating. Guys, ratings is what boosts us, so please give us a rating if you don't mind. Give us feedback. We love downloads and we love listens as well, but the ratings is what's going to help us take this podcast to the next level. So if you feel inclined to, give us a rating, give us a comment. If you have questions or topics that you want to hear about, send them in, and I promise you we will not miss it. Let's go shout out of the week really quick. I feel bad because we didn't do some of these earlier in past weeks, but I do remember. So our shout out of the week this week, I would like to shout out Mr. Nolan Milton, good buddy of ours. Congrats to Nolan Milton. He just got wedded. I just said wedded. He just got married this past weekend, and it was a good teammate of Jesse and I over at Union. So shout out to him and Shelby, his new wife, and hope they have a great honeymoon. And I know me and Jesse had a great time being there, celebrating that moment with them this weekend. Any of you boys got shout outs?
Nope.
My beautiful wife.
Shout out Brian's beautiful wife.
I'll second
Shout out my
that.
dog Yeti. I haven't seen Yeti in like 3 weeks.
Oof.
I miss my dog. Mom, send him home.
There we go.
Blue, you're my boy.
You're my boy, Blue.
So yeah, shout out all those people. Eventful. It was
Good
an eventful
animals.
weekend. Good animals, yes. Also, before we go, how did you boys enjoy your first real weekend of SEC football? The real boys coming out and playing
I
football.
loved
Y'all
it.
have a good time.
Didn't watch a single game.
Tal's
Big Ten
shaking his
hasn't
head.
started yet.
Tal hates mainstream sports. I forgot.
I just
I'm
don't
sorry.
like football.
Until the old Boilermakers start firing up here in a couple weeks.
I'm
Oh,
sure,
boy.
yeah.
You
I'm
better
sure.
look out for that train come rolling.
I'll say this:
Look
the
at that.
Hogs looked good. Arkansas looked good to the first quarter, and then they, just wasn't. It
Heck
wasn't
yeah,
good
we
from there.
did,
But
baby.
the first quarter, the Hogs looked good against the Bulldogs of Georgia. So
First
half we
they're
looked
looking
good.
Okay.
Oh,
We were
God.
up
They'll
going
be all
into
right.
half, old son.
Oh
You
gosh!
know who
All
looks
right.
like shit? And I'm going to get killed for this. The Tigers. Tigers are going to have a tough year. And I'm going to have to get an earful for it. Hopefully Kennedy doesn't listen this week. because it's going to be
Texas.
hard
Oh,
to
she
be a
does.
Tiger fan.
I hope she does.
I don't think we're going to
But-
be hear the band playing neck very often.
Oh man. This oh gosh, okay. This is a golf podcast. Come on. Anyway, thank you guys for
Tigers.
thank you guys for listening so much. We really do appreciate it. Again, go follow us. And don't forget, as always, what does it tell?
Fluff your plutz.
See you guys.